show.
Welcome to a second round Game 2 reaction show on the Glutons for Punishment podcast, or GFP, the Toronto Maple Leafs and NHL podcast, hosted by Michael Lepore and Anthony Bruno. The Toronto Maple Leafs are down 2-0 in the series to the Florida Panthers. Toronto lost the first game 4-2, lost the second game 3-2, and now the Leafs are in a huge hole, losing the first two games on home ice. They got to go into Florida, win the next two, or this thing might be over. I can't believe what we just watched in game 2, and we're going to get into all that. We're going to give you our thoughts and opinions on everything that went down. But before we do all that, it is time to officially welcome in my partner in crime, Mr. Michael Lepore. Lepore, how are you feeling after that, man?
If I'm being perfectly honest, Anthony Bruno, I cannot remember the last time I was this angry following a Leafs game. That was nothing short of pathetic. The three goals we allowed were a fucking joke. Embarrassing. I would rip apart the 10-year-olds I coach if they allow that
to them on a silver platter.
Could it be any easier? Any easier? But on the opposite side, okay, we need certain players to step up. And I don't give a shit about how many shots on goal they had or how well Bobrovsky played. As Wayne Gretzky always says, stats are for losers. And during the playoffs, you know what? Stats are for fucking losers. Our big guys have to score. 22 shots on goal. You guys make that kind of money and you can't put one in? Pathetic tonight. Pathetic. It's the playoffs. There's one measuring stick, a win. You have one more goal than the other team when the clock hits 0. That's it. And all these people posting like the money pocket, whatever, get your heads out of your asses. Okay. This team looks asleep. Asleep. Yeah, they have the puck. Yeah, they're getting chances because they're more talented. But I am fucking infuriated right now what I just watched. To allow goals like that, 2 goals in a minute to start a period. Who does that?
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
Who does that? The Toronto Maple Leafs. That's who. It's like I kept telling myself, we're still the Leafs. Like beating Tampa didn't convince me of anything now. Like, let's be honest, Bruno. We've played 8 games in these playoffs. 8 games, okay? We have either been outplayed or lost 7 of them. That's it. That's it. They have to be better. The stars have to pick it up. I'm sick of watching other teams and other players. Oh, Pavelski scored 4 goals. Draisaitl scored 4 goals. How about our guys who make $1 billion score 4 goals? And again, I don't care about underlying numbers right now. I don't care about attempts.
The underlying numbers, they are all over social media right now.
Oh, Jesus. Like I said, get your heads out of your asses. They're here to win. They're the favorite in this series. You know when you say that? When you're on the opposite side of it. When you're the underdog and you can say, yeah, you know what? We played pretty well. When you're in your barn and you're the favorite playing the 8 seed and you just knocked out the 3-time defending conference champions, it's not about that. That was terrible, Bruno. Terrible. And now, you know what? I'm kind of happy because at least now it's black and white. They go into the next game and they gotta win. Good. That's it. Season on the line. 1 game. Let's see what you got. As people can tell by my reaction, I'm not that optimistic.
Wow. I mean, tell us how you really feel, Lepore. I think that is the most fired up I have ever seen you on this podcast. And we are 102 episodes into the GFP podcast. But no, I think you nailed it for the most part. And you're going to see all the charts on Twitter from Money Puck and Natural Stat Trick and all the other analytics platforms. But at the end of the day, the Leafs did not capitalize on their scoring chances. It has felt to me like the Leafs have had more scoring chances in 6 periods against Florida than they did in 6 games versus Tampa. I can't even believe what I'm watching here because Florida is not playing well defensively. The Leafs are doing almost anything they want on the offensive side of the puck, and they can't score. And obviously, Sergei Bobrovsky has been unbelievable. Like, let's not take anything away from Bob. This guy rose from the dead in the last series when he was forced to come in for Alex Lyon, who was a disaster. And now the Panthers have reeled off 5 wins in a row. I believe Bobrovsky now has like 5 goals saved above expected against the Leafs in the first 2 games. It's absurd. He's looking like the Bob who won 2 Vezina trophies. But saying all that, the thing that pisses me off even more, it's not that we're not capitalizing on our scoring chances. It's these stupid giveaways, these stupid brain farts, these stupid mistakes in the defensive end that the Leafs are making. All 3 goals tonight were just stupidity. The Leafs just gave the puck on a silver platter to the Panthers. The Panthers had no business winning this game tonight. No business winning this game, but the Leafs decided to turn over the puck here, turn over the puck there. Matthews and Marner combining for a turnover on the 3-2 goal. I mean, does it get any easier than that for a road team to get back into a game? That's what pissed me off the most. And it was more of the same in game 1, honestly.
It was.
I didn't think Florida deserved to win that game either. And maybe that game was a little bit closer. The Leafs didn't quite dominate that game like they did game 2. But when you are just shooting yourself in the foot and giving the other team point blank opportunities, giving the other team the puck on a silver platter in the slot in front of the net, you're just asking for it, man. And they got to clean that up or this series is over.
Yeah. And this is the thing. And everyone points to underlying numbers, advanced stats. Okay. But what doesn't get accounted for in these advanced stats is crazy blunders. Okay. Like unbelievable, crazy fuck ups. You can play incredible all game, but if there are 2 brain farts where a defenseman gives a pizza in front of the net, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. So if you do that, shots on goal, attempts on goal, puck possession, offensive zone time, it's all irrelevant. And the Leafs are doing everything in their power to make all those things irrelevant. It's like in football when they show a time of possession, first downs, yards. How are they losing? Turnovers. That's how they're losing. And that's how the Leafs are losing. Like, yeah, they got to clean it up. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's the only thing we can really say at this point. That's it. That's all Leafs fans can say. Please, God, would you guys stop losing like this? You know, what makes it hard for them now is, like you said, Florida hasn't really deserved to win a game yet. So you kind of expect them to play well at least once in their barn. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Leafs fans should be infuriated right now. Infuriated. And I don't know, and like I said, I don't know if I've ever been so angry at fellow Leafs fans for pointing to that shit. Nobody cares now. Nobody cares. And am I the only one? Okay, like now I'm real. Like here, as you can see, I'm really upset. Am I the only one that during these playoff games gets kind of pissed off seeing skip the dishes commercials and Osmos commercials? Oh, geez, with these guys. Commercials. Yeah, make life easier for them because they deserve it. They deserve more money. Score a goal. Score a goal.
It's outrageous the amount of point blank opportunities that Matthews has had. Nylander, Tavares, Marner.
I thought all their body language was shit too, by the way. I thought all their body language, maybe not Nylander, but man, even Matthews, like it never felt like he was going to score to me.
Well, especially to start that second period. I mean, they were asleep. I don't know what the hell that was because honestly, I think the Leafs were the better team for more than 59 minutes in this hockey game, and they still found a way to lose. And that's Leafs hockey for you. This reminds me of the Habs series.
It is identical to the Habs series.
It's the Habs series. Like, Florida, at the very most, should have a 1-1 split at this point, based on how these first 2 games have gone. But for whatever reason, they're putting the puck in the net on every Leafs mistake. Now, listen, Samsonov has made some big saves. He hasn't been good enough. I'll say that. No. Straight up, the dude has not been good enough.
No, that Barkov goal was shit.
Yeah, that Barkov goal, that little wrist shot, that was trash. You got to have that goal. He's got to be better. Just his overall numbers in the playoffs right now, sub 900 save percentage, like that's not going to cut it. So he's got to be better because I think back to that Habs series. The Leafs outplayed the Habs in 6 of the 7 games and obviously lost the series. Like Florida, I don't want to hear about Florida's forecheck and Matthew
seriously.
Tkachuk.
Oh my God. Give me a break.
All tonight.
They're getting fucking outplayed to all hell. Jeez. If I hear one more person say that, oh, their forecheck. Well, that's all you're focusing on because you never have the puck.
They don't have the fucking puck. I don't want to hear this gushing about Matthew Tkachuk. Even in the first game, Tkachuk ended up with 3 assists. I didn't think he played that great.
I had that exact conversation with him. Like, I didn't even notice him. Like, oh, he laid a few hits. And I saw him get leveled as much as he gave up hits. Like,
Schenn Benn laid him out. McCabe laid him out. Like, I don't think Matthew Tkachuk has been special at all in this series. I mean, I think he's got
he gets assists off turnovers. Congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. And again, like, he's putting up points. He's producing, which is the name of the game. You got to produce. Never mind the expected goals and all the other shit. Like, you got to produce. You got to put goals on the board. You got to rack up points. The big boys have to do their job, and they're just not doing that. But I don't want to hear this garbage about the Panthers forecheck and this Tkachuk and Sam Bennett line. Do you really think the Leafs are scared of this Sam Bennett, Nick Cousins, and Matthew Tkachuk line? They are probably laughing in the locker room, hearing everyone talk about the dominance of this line. But listen, the Panthers are getting the last laugh because they're still winning these games. It's just crazy. If I was the Leafs, Lepore, I would literally be like you right now. Like, they should be so pissed off after how these first two games have gone that they should be going into Florida looking to absolutely stomp all over this team and get back in this series and win the next two games. It's as simple as that.
I mean, if they can turn that switch on and actually start finishing and not shooting yourself in the foot, like, it's just so typical. It's so typical of them to lose games like this. And it can happen in a series. And to be fair, after game one, and this was vocalized on social media, I wasn't even scared. I think we've shown in these first two games we're better than them.
Yeah, it's not even a question.
Like, the Florida Panthers aren't going to beat us. We can only beat ourselves, and we're doing a really good job of it so far.
Lepore, who's the Leafs' biggest enemy? It's the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's as simple as that, and that's what we have seen through the first two games of this series. Are you concerned with anyone on this team right now? Like, if I had to point out a couple of things that I'm concerned about, number one is Samsonov. I think he hasn't been good enough, and I don't want to put all the blame on him because, the Leafs have been making boneheaded mistakes in this series, but he has simply not been good enough. Bobrovsky is completely outshining him. And I haven't been happy with Mark Giordano. And this is even going back to the last series. He looks slow. He's slow with his decision-making. I think he's easily been the Leafs' worst defenseman in the playoffs outside of Justin Hall. And now you have a situation where is Matthew Knies possibly concussed?
Oh, my God.
I don't want to jump the gun and pretend I'm a doctor here, but he got slammed to the ice by Sam Bennett behind the net. Obviously, no penalty was called. So now is Knies going to be out for the next few games, long-term potentially? I mean, who knows how long this series is going to last at this point. But what are your concerns right now moving forward in this series?
I don't have any real focused concerns other than just the math right now, the situation they're in, where they have to play mistake-free. And kind of like what I said about the Tampa series when the Leafs look to be in trouble. Why should I be confident that they can do that? I'm not going to be confident. They have to show me and win. I did say this was going to be a hard, long series. I picked Leafs in 7.
You did.
But I'm almost thinking, yeah, you know what? I shouldn't have picked that based on like how these teams are matching up. It's just a matter of the Leafs shooting themselves in the foot. I feel like I've said that 20 times on this podcast. But I mean, I don't have, like, I really and truly don't have any guys I'm focused on. Yeah, Sammy's got to be better. I mean, that's obvious. But in terms of players, I'll just say the big four up front. They got to score. 22 shots on goal. Finish. I find it funny how no one ever really talks about that in hockey. People just say like, oh, they had a lot of shots on goal. Like, they'll come. Yeah, but there's something called finishing. And
that's being a skill too, if you didn't know.
Oh, my God. And I'll say it. Leon Draisaitl. It just always seems to go in for some reason, even when it's not that big of a chance or it's a half chance. Bang, like off the post and in. That's an ability. Can these guys show that?
A 38-year-old Joe Pavelski coming off a concussion scores 4 goals. And you're telling me Austin Matthews can't score on one of his point-blank chances, or William Nylander, who after all the shit he got from game 1, I thought was excellent tonight and was buzzing all over the place. He can't buy a goal to save his life.
Yeah, he was their best player.
It's frustrating, man. But no, I think Samsonov absolutely needs to be better again. I don't want to, I don't want to single him out as the scapegoat here and be like it's all his fault, because the Leafs are making boneheaded decisions. Like, they have handed wins to the Florida Panthers. All right. I'm not going to give the Panthers a lot of credit. Like, I thought Tampa played the Leafs a hell of a lot better than the Florida Panthers are playing the Leafs.
Tampa would have shit kicked the Panthers.
It's
I
it's
really feel that
frustrating,
way.
man. I mean, there's no other way to spin this. Like, there were so many times in that Lightning series where the Leafs got outplayed. Like, I mean, it was as clear as day. You had to be a complete idiot to not realize that for a good chunk of that series, the Leafs got outplayed by the Tampa Bay Lightning. They couldn't create offense. They were struggling on the power play at points in the series. Lepore, the Leafs have been able to do anything they want offensively in this series. They have lanes to the net, lanes up the middle, power play entering the zone with no issues, moving the puck around on the power play like it's nothing, scoring chances here, scoring chances there, scoring chances coming out of everywhere, and they can't score a fucking goal.
Yeah.
It's wild. But you said it, man. It's like at the end of the day, screw the analytics and the underlying numbers. You have to score goals.
Yeah.
So you would think if they keep doing this in Florida, they're eventually going to turn the tide here and win a game or two. But good Lord, man, if they lose one more game, like if they go down, if they don't win the next game, this is over now.
Yeah. Well,
can't go down
knows that.
3-0.
Yeah.
They got to just focus now on winning the next two in Florida. And here's the funny thing, Lepore. After all the negativity that we
here it comes, Bruno. I knew where you were gonna go.
I still think the Leafs are gonna win this series, as insane as that sounds. I think we're gonna see a New Jersey Devil situation here. I picked the Leafs in 6. Maybe the math isn't on my side for that one because they got to rip off 4 straight. Your Leafs in 7 call, though, man. I think that's totally in play. I know it sounds crazy. People probably think we're nuts right now, especially the Leafs haters. But the way that they have played, I'm actually pretty confident that they could rip off 3 in a row or even 4 in a row for that matter, or 4 of the next 5 if they want to win in 7.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I hope you're right. But again, I'm going to say what I said during the Tampa series. You have to do it. You have to convince me that you can do it. And to the point about the advanced stats, I mean, that goals should go in. Has anyone brought up, well, what do we all say about advanced stats? Things even out. They always go back to the mean, right? Well, are things evening out from the first series for us? Where we won 3 games we quote unquote shouldn't have based on the metrics?
Good point.
Like, where do we stand overall? Really? Maybe that was the kick in the nuts that we deserved. And I don't know. It's no perfect science as much people make it out to be. But here we are. The playoffs are the playoffs. You get what you deserve at the end of the day. We've never looked at a team that won the Stanley Cup and been like, nah, you know what? They didn't really deserve it. No. I mean, well, if they don't deserve it, who did deserve it? The teams that lost. I mean, teams have had paths to the cup that have been easier or bounces went their way, but that's sports. But like all this banter about how they look and the scoring chances, who cares? Who cares? Win. I don't care. Did I give a shit when we beat Tampa? And, we got outplayed. I don't care. That's on them for that's on them for not winning.
Wins, please. That's it. We don't care how you get them. Just get those 4 wins.
So, Bruno, I don't know how I'm going to sleep tonight. Like, I'm sweating through this hoodie, man. Like, I am boiled. Thank God there's another game on we can watch because I have to settle down a bit. Unbelievable.
If there's anything positive to look at besides the underlying stats, as we've mentioned, that none of us should care about because all we should care about are wins. If you look back to the first round, 6 of the 8 teams that advanced lost game 1. And the Devils lost the first 2 games at home and still won the series. So it has been a pretty wacky playoffs where most of the favorites have moved on. 6 of the 8 favorites won their series in round 1. And like I said, 6 teams moved on after losing the first game. The Devils lost the first 2 games. So it's not over. I don't think it doesn't feel that way to me just based on the way the Leafs have played, but they got to stop making mistakes. Never mind scoring goals. Stop making stupid mistakes that you see, honestly, in house league hockey. Like, I mean, it's embarrassing out there. Some of the mistakes that I'm seeing, like just brain farts, losing focus. That shit cannot happen moving forward. So before we close this out, Lepore, are the Leafs done, or do you still think they have a chance?
They have a chance.
I want your official take on that.
Like, they have a chance because, I mean, they've shown that they can outplay this team. But I got to say, you get to the point where it's almost kind of a relief. Like, now we're at the point where you have to win. That's it. I'm going to watch game 3 like an elimination game. and they have to play it like an elimination game, and I expect them to be set up that way. Because I hate all this, like I hate all the talk during the year about different teams and what they're supposed to be or what they're gonna be. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you get to this point of the season and things like tonight can happen. It doesn't matter. You can have a team that's got Crosby, Matthews, McDavid, Draisaitl, Cale Makar, and Vasilevsky in nets. If you do that, you're going to lose. So do they have a chance? Yeah, they got a chance. But I got to say, I'm probably going to enjoy game 3. Like, let's be honest here, Leafs fans. None of us enjoy watching playoffs games. It's far too stressful. We have way too much. We have way too much. Oh, bro. I wake up the day of a Leafs playoff game and I got like the shakes. I'm like, this is not going to be
full anxiety.
Oh my God.
Whole day, and then the 3 hours from puck drop to the end of the game, you're just having an anxiety attack for 3 hours.
Oh, I'm grumpy. I'm like short tempered all day during a Leafs playoff game. I think game 3, well, this is it now. Got to do it. So I'm sure I'm still going to be, my skin's going to be crawling a bit, but I think it'll be dialed down just knowing like, well, there's nothing to talk about now. And that's what I'm referring to. You get to this time of year, there's nothing to talk about. There's no debates. There's no shoulda, coulda, wouldas. All that matters is the team that gets to 4 wins first.
But you do make a good point, Lepore. I think in a weird way, like the pressure is going to be taken off, not only us fans watching the games with the players, because now it's just like, all right, you're in an 0-2 hole, go out there, let it rip. Let it rip. Play your game and see if you can rip off 4 in a row. And that's what I'm going to say. I'm going for the grand slam here, Lepore. I'm not trying to hit singles. I'm not trying to rip a double down the line, Lepore. I'm trying to hit a 450-foot moonshot to deep left field. I'm going to say the Leafs rip off 4 games in a row and still win this series in 6.
So it'll be 6-0 on the road.
Yeah.
And that's your prediction.
Yeah, that's another crazy thing. This team now that was one of the most dominant teams all year on home ice can't win a game at home.
Yeah, exactly.
And now they're hopefully going to remain a wagon on the road. So
yeah, again, Bruno, another stat that doesn't matter. Oh my God, Tampa is like unbeatable at home. The Leafs won 3. Oh my God, the Leafs had the 3rd best home record. We've won what, 1?
1 home game, just
game
2 against Tampa.
We lost game 1, we lost game 5, and we lost the first 2 against Florida. So what the hell did it matter that we were so good at home during the regular season? Who cares?
None of it mattered.
No.
Is there anything else you want to say before we close this thing out?
Well, you usually say get off your chest, but I think I've got enough off my chest. I'm just, like I said, man, I try to be as honest as I can on this podcast. Thank God there is a game to watch right now. Thank God. Because I would be in bed staring at the ceiling until 6 a.m. tomorrow when I just walk out and grab my daughter to feed her. Because this is not cool for me right now. This is not fun.
The only positive thing, now we have a couple days to reset. The Leafs are off Friday. They're off Saturday. Reset, everybody.
Are you happy about that? Are you happy? I feel it's more like shitty. Like now we're just being made to wait and the stress is dragged.
No, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Take a little reset. Everyone enjoy your Friday night. Have a great day Saturday. And then we'll all have anxiety attacks together again on Sunday. We'll all come together as Leafs Nation and panic from the second we wake up until the second we go to bed, unless the Leafs win and make it a 2-1 series. But until then, yeah, like I said, I mean, just please try to enjoy the next 2 days and enjoy the rest of the hockey going on. I hope you make some money. I hope maybe you're winning one of your hockey pools. I hope something's going well for you right now because this Leafs team has not been inspiring whatsoever. But
no,
that is going to do it for this Game 2 second round reaction show on the Gluttons for Punishment podcast, or GFP, a Toronto Maple Leafs and NHL podcast hosted by Michael Lepore and Anthony Bruno. If you enjoyed this quick little episode and you're a first-time listener or long-time listener, please give us a 5-star rating and review on both Apple and Spotify, because I think we actually performed better than the Leafs did in this first couple of games. I think solid performance from the boys.
No doubt about it.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about this series, how the rest of this series is going to play out. And ring the notification bell while you're at it as well, so you know exactly when the GFP podcast is dropping some new content. For Michael Lepore, I'm Anthony Bruno. Leafs in 6, baby. Leafs in 6. We'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, everyone.